Most people remember the internet as a technological revolution. It was. But technology isn't what changed the world. Behavior did. There's a difference. The internet didn't simply give people new tools. It quietly gave people a new way to exist. In the beginning, the internet felt like a place. Somewhere you visited. You signed on. You explored. You disappeared into conversations with people you would never meet. You searched because you were curious. You logged off, and life continued. The internet had boundaries. It occupied part of the day, not all of it. Somewhere along the way, those boundaries disappeared. The internet stopped being somewhere we went. It became somewhere we stayed. The screen moved from the desk to the pocket, from the pocket to the hand, from the hand to our attention. Eventually, being online no longer felt like an activity. It became the default condition. At first, that felt like progress. The world became easier to reach. Information arrived instantly. Distance seemed to disappear. We could speak to almost anyone, at almost any moment. It felt as though humanity had become more connected than ever before. But connection and closeness are not the same thing. That difference will quietly reshape the modern world. The internet promised something remarkable. A world where no one would feel far away again. In many ways, it delivered. Families separated by oceans could speak instantly. Ideas traveled across continents in seconds. Knowledge that once required hours inside a library became available with a single search. The possibilities felt endless, and for a while, they were. But every innovation changes more than the problem it was designed to solve. It changes the people using it. The internet didn't simply alter communication. It altered expectation. Waiting became unnecessary. Silence became uncomfortable. Availability became assumed. The extraordinary slowly became ordinary. Somewhere along the way, being reachable stopped feeling like a privilege. It became an obligation. Messages demanded immediate replies. Notifications interrupted moments that once belonged only to us. Even boredom, something previous generations experienced every day, began to disappear without realizing it. We stopped allowing our minds to wander. Every empty moment became another opportunity to scroll, another opportunity to consume, another opportunity to remain connected, without necessarily feeling present. Perhaps that's when the internet began feeling less human. Not because the technology changed, because we did. The tools remained the same. Our relationships with them didn't. And relationships have consequences. The most significant changes rarely announce themselves. They happen quietly, one habit at a time, one convenience at a time, until eventually, the way we experience the world has changed without us ever noticing. The internet didn't ask us to stop paying attention. It simply offered something else to pay attention to. Again, and again, and again. Over time, our attention became the product. Every click, every pause, every search, every second spent looking at a screen became something that could be measured, predicted, and eventually competed for. The internet didn't just organize information. It reorganized attention itself. Attention has always shaped human life. What we notice, becomes what we remember. What we remember becomes how we understand the world. Perhaps that's why the internet feels so different today. Not because there's too much information, because there are too many people competing to become the next thing we notice. The loudest voice, the newest headline, the next notification, the next interruption. Quiet became increasingly difficult to find, and with it, so did reflection. Maybe that's what we've been missing. Not slower technology, slower moments. Moments where nothing is asking for us. Moments where thought has time to arrive before another notification replaces it. Those moments used to happen naturally. Today, we often have to choose them. And that choice may be more important than we realize. Perhaps the greatest change the internet introduced wasn't technological. It was psychological. For most of human history, being alone and being lonely were two different experiences. The internet quietly blurred that distinction. Today, it's possible to spend an entire day surrounded by updates, messages, videos, conversations, and still feel profoundly disconnected. Not because people stop communicating, because communication and companionship are not the same thing. The internet gave us unprecedented access to one another, but access isn't intimacy. Knowing what someone ate for breakfast, where they traveled, or what they believe doesn't necessarily mean we know them. In many ways, we've never known more about each other's lives, and yet, many people have never felt more difficult to truly understand. Perhaps that's because relationships were never built on information alone. They were built on presence, on silence, on shared moments that couldn't be paused, edited, or revisited later. The most meaningful parts of life have always happened in real time. A conversation that lingers, a laugh that can't be replayed, a memory that exists only because someone else was there to experience it with you. Technology made those moments easier to document, but documenting a moment isn't the same thing as living one. Every generation inherits a technology that quietly changes the way it understands the world. The printing press changed knowledge. Television changed attention. The internet changed present. Not all at once, not dramatically, quietly, until one day, the new way simply became normal. That may be why it's so difficult to notice what has changed. Most revolutions don't feel like revolutions while you're living through them. They feel like convenience, like progress, like another small improvement that makes life a little easier. Only years later, do we realize we were changing with the technology all along. Perhaps that's the real story of the internet. Not that it connected the world. It did. Not that it transformed communication. It did. But that it asked every generation to answer a quieter question. How much of yourself are you willing to give away for the sake of always being connected? Technology will continue to evolve. Screens will become faster, algorithms more intelligent, devices more personal. That much feels inevitable. The more difficult question is whether we will continue protecting the parts of ourselves that technology was never meant to replace. Attention, presence, conversation, wonder, silence. Those things have always been human, and perhaps they always should be. The internet changed the way we find information. It changed the way we communicate. It changed the way we remember. But its greatest influence may be something far less obvious. It changed the way we experience one another. That isn't a judgment. It's an observation. One we're still learning to understand. History will remember the internet as an invention. Culture may remember it as a revolution. But perhaps future generations will remember it for something even greater. The moment humanity stopped asking what technology could do and quietly began asking what it was doing to us. That is when the internet stopped feeling human.